Before we start today's show, we've got some bad news. Michael Bisping, sadly, has had to pull out.
If only we knew someone who was a specialist at being a late replacement.
You know me, guys. Anytime, anywhere, any show.
There ain't no place like Manor. This city makes moments. Now it's time for my guys to take theirs. The top don's taking no prisoners and the big man's getting bigger. Get ready for the smoke. Because in this city, winners live forever. Manchester, where greatness is made.
Welcome to God's country, Manchester, for UFC 304. The sun is shining unusually, the birds are singing, and we've got two title fights to get you excited about. I'm Adam Catterall. It is a pleasure, as always, to be in your company. Nick Pete alongside me, and look who's here. Eh? We've called him in, last minute, ready to rock and roll, the one and only great man himself, Alexander Volkanovski. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing really well, mate. Been good. It's always good to be at the UFC. Usually I'm here dehydrated, talking to you guys.
That's right.
But to be here helping host the show, it's good. And, saving the day, you're late notice. It's I just feel like that's just my role nowadays, right? Just to save the day with whatever it is. That's the meme getting around, but it's good to be here.
Before we get stuck into UFC 304 and talking about the main events and all that, I want to talk about you. Mm-hmm. How are you at the moment? Whereabouts are you? I know that you've always got itchy knuckles. You're ready to rock and roll, my man. But where's your head at?
Yeah, man. I obviously had the break, and it was great. The break was good. Now I was training the whole time, but I started sparring again. And as soon as I started sparring, I'm just like, get me back in there, So I'm starting to get them itchy knuckles, but. It's been really good. I've been able to do a lot of things, content, obviously plenty of time with the family, fishing, adventures. It's been great. But training, obviously through it, I'm always going to be that guy that's in the gym. But now it's just the intensity's starting to get back up there. So, like I said, ready to get back in there. So we'll see what happens.
We need to hear the tune, don't we? We need to hear the tune, mate.
Of course. Look, listen, never mind the tune. Leon and Belal haven't made weight yet.
Oh, yeah.
What is the weight on today? Could we see you in your shreddies in a couple of minutes' time?
You might see me have to get up there. You might be mate, for a surprise, but I might have to leave halfway through the show. Let me just say that.
Can you imagine that? We should do it. We should put the keks on and just you randomly at 170.
I mean, we're trying to make it happen, to be honest with you. That's actually what we're trying to do. I don't know if they've okayed it, but I'm just going to jump on the stage anyway.
Absolutely. Listen, let's get stuck into what we've got planned for tomorrow night. UFC 304, obviously getting down in the early hours of the morning, kicking off with Arnold Allen and Jiki Chikadze. Fantastic fight in the featherweight division. Volk will have a few opinions on that, obviously, with him being the main man down there. We've got, in the middleweight division, Christian Leroy Duncan, who's been on this lovely hot rise from the UK, taking on Robocop himself, Gregory Rodriguez, Bobby Green, or King Green as he's now affectionately known, taking on Paddy the Baddy Pimblett, and then the interim heavyweight title is on the line as Tom Aspinall defends against Curtis Blaydes, and that main event, Leon Edwards, we see him defending once again on home soil, this time against Belal Muhammad, and that's where we'll start. We'll start with the main event, shall we? What have you made of Leon Edwards' rise through the welterweight division, and now that he's champ, obviously 2 wins against Kamaru Usman, a fantastic victory against Colby Covington, defending once again. He's setting record after record after record. A win at the weekend. He takes GSP's welterweight record. The guy seems unstoppable right now. Yeah, man, Leon's on fire. So well rounded, He's got a very strong game, striking. He showed that he can, grapple, wrestle. He's shown that he's a tough man to beat. So, I think he's obviously going to have someone like Belal trying to come out there and do his thing, but it ain't going to be an easy task for Belal, just because he's just on absolute tear at the moment. He's had to be patient, hasn't he, Nick? But now he just seems to be in that purple patch.
Yeah, listen, this is a guy at the peak of his powers. His anti-wrestling defense is phenomenal. His stand-up is unbelievable. Look at his highlight reels here. That remains one of the greatest moments in UFC history. We're talking about a fighter that's absolutely got it all. But Belal's here on merit. People don't give him the credit he deserves.
No, you're right. So that's another thing with Belal. He's a very well-rounded fighter. He's very calculated, and he's always fighting the right fight, right? He's got always strategy. So let's see what strategy he has. So he's went out there and he's absolutely surprised me so many times. Let's see if he can do that this weekend.
There you go, tail of the tape. Not too much between age. Obviously, the young man being Leon Edwards. Got a little bit of a fact for you, gentlemen. The fact when it comes to 35-year-old guys in certain weight divisions, no challenger at welterweight has ever walked to the octagon and won after the age of 35 years of age. Belal Muhammad having to defy a little bit of history as he takes on Leon Edwards in the main event here at UFC 304. Do you take anything from the first dance that they had? I know it was in the Apex, I know it was behind closed doors, I know it ended a little bit prematurely, but can you look into that at all?
Yeah, I think you definitely can. One thing that I did notice was Leon. He was a little bit more aggressive. He wanted to go out there and really try and put it on Belal, and I think that's what's going to happen this weekend as well. I think he knows he can sort of let his hands go. Obviously Belal, like we said, strategy, he's a smart fighter, but I think it's not too much of a risk if Leon wants to let his hands go. So I feel like that's going to be something that we'll see again.
I completely agree. I think Leon feels like the first fight was all him. That head kick that he landed in that first round opened the cut on Belal's head, give him a little bit of a shaky legs for a while. Of course, the fight was stopped right at the beginning of round 2 with that accidental eye poke. But still, the thing about that first fight, Belal comes away thinking, well, since then I've improved so much more as well. Has Leon improved so much more? Leon, of course, though, has fought back to back to back people with similar styles to Belal, heavy grapplers, not necessarily, first choice strikers, if you like. So I think the pressure's on Belal here to basically have the night of his life.
Yeah, that's right. But he's shown a few times that he can go and surprise us. There's fights that I thought he was going to really struggle, and he's just walked from. Obviously Brady, that really caught me. Yeah, man, it really caught me by surprise. Brady is no joke when it comes to the grappling wrestling. He just couldn't do anything with Belal. Belal went out there and got the finish. So obviously he can step up when he needs to, and you're right, he needs to step up for someone like Leon Edwards.
Yeah. Listen, there's going to be a lot of people obviously tuning in the early hours of Sunday morning. You might need a pep talk just to keep you going. The king of the pep talks. Are you ready for this? Let's bring in Coach Dave. Come on, Coach Dave. Let's bring him in here. Leon's head coach ahead of the fight. How are you, my friend? You good?
I'm not too bad, brother. How are you?
Very well indeed. Always good to see you. How's the main man? Is he ready to rock and roll?
Good. Yeah, we just come back from him doing his weight cut. Easy work. Just looking forward to the fight now.
From a coaching point of view and a strategic point of view, obviously you've already come up with one game plan previously for Belal. That one ended prematurely. Have you seen the developments in Belal's game since that first fight?
Definitely.
In order to add a few little more wrinkles to what Leon's got to do tomorrow?
Definitely, yeah. He has improved. We know he's been training with Khabib and the boys, so obviously you'd learn a trick or two. He would learn a trick or two off them. I've seen some things that I'm not going to reveal what we have seen in him that we have looking to counteract. And so I don't think he can bring nothing to surprise Leon on the feet as such. I think he's going to be looking to possibly grind him, take him down, hold him down. All the talk about he's going to put him to sleep and this and that. Listen, talk's cheap. The fight's tomorrow, so let's just see how it goes.
Game planning for rematches. You're an expert at this now. You're an expert at this.
Oh, well, that's what I was going to sort of ask you. Do you feel like you need to change much of because Leon's such a well-rounded fighter. He's so tidy and strong everywhere. Sorry. Yeah. Does he even need to change his game or just be Leon?
Yeah. Well,
obviously, you can have strategy. But
obviously, we've just tweaked things here and there. Leon having the reach size advantage. Like I say, we've done one or two things that we've seen Belal in his training. He keeps repeating repetitively some little moves he does, and again we've been working on strategic moves to touch him and light him up that way. But overall, Leon hasn't really got to change much. He's a master at the distance. Once he gets Belal working, pushing him on the back foot, then you're going to see the fight unfold. Yeah.
You've spoken about this, haven't you? About having many different options for each strategy that comes your way. Having the capability to problem solve in multiple ways.
Well, that's it, right? You're always going to have a strategy. You're going to have a game plan. You're going to have things that you notice, but at the same time you want to fight your fight. And they would know. Like Leon is very, very good at his work. But I'm sure that these guys, these are things that we're going to look out for, and what we can capitalise on. Them opportunities come, you're going to take it. Like you said, you're going to have options with whatever Belal throws at him. Obviously, with the changing stances and whatnot, you know what I mean. I remember seeing him doing that quite a bit. I think it might have been the Burns fight.
That's right.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens.
Taking nothing away from Mr. Belal, he has improved. Listen, we're not going to fool anybody. The kid has improved from the last time he fought Leon. But people forget, so has Leon.
Yes.
Leon's wrestling, like I told in his last fight, when was it Hawani said about the wrestling factor. I said Colby and Usman was going to get a shock when it came to Leon's wrestling, anti-wrestling and offensive wrestling. And Belal's just going to feel the same.
Before I'll let you get on and we get into this, have you taken part in the military sleep programme?
I haven't, no. What's that about?
For Leon's sleep pattern, getting himself ready for fighting at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, mate.
I'm the old soldier. I don't need that. I just when he wakes up, we're ready to go. The old boy's ready to go.
Have a good one, man. I'll let you get on with the rest of your day.
All right,
you take care.
Thank
Put
you,
that
boys.
microphone down there, my friend. Nick, go on. I'll let you get on there. Right, as you can see, Leon himself is just about to hit the scales. He's just about to get ready. Hit the 170, get ready for the title fight. Just a little tiny delay, but here he comes.
This is the way to do it, isn't it? Well, champ mentality. You're top of the bill, first on the scales.
That's it. It's always good to be first on the scales, I'll be honest. So he'll be ready to obviously get on there, get out of the way, get hydrated.
Get straight back to the breakfast bar, hopefully.
Mate, looking nothing but smiles as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking good.
He's in tremendous shape. Weighing in at 3 p.m. rather than 9 a.m. Volk, something you may have done down under.
Yeah.
Is that beneficial for your weight cuts? Doing it while you're awake, or do you like sleeping it off and then doing the last bit in the morning?
I mean, no, well, they had all day to get the weight off, so they didn't have to try and sleep dehydrated. They could have waited till today and get it all off, which I think is way better. There's Geordie with him, obviously, the nutritionist, who's an absolute master and scientist when it comes to that.
You've had a little bit of a catch-up with Oban Elliott this week, haven't you, Nick? How is he?
He's a tremendous talent, you know, and this guy's been telling us he's UFC caliber for an awful long time, long before he was actually in the UFC. Finally made his debut last year, took on Val Woodburn in his UFC proper. Looked tremendous, and he is so excited for this week. He's been mixing around the lobby, taking pictures with fans, and he just feels like he belongs.
Got to chuck a pause out every now and again, you know what I mean? He's in a fight this weekend, though, where Preston Parsons stylistically could spoil the fight a little bit. If he wants to be super entertaining, he's got to try and keep it on the feet.
Yeah, well, that's what Preston Parsons does, you know. He's a grinder, he's a grappler, he's a heavy grappler, and he's got a ton of experience compared to Oban Elliott. But as you say, it's up to Oban to keep that distance, keep the fight standing, and take it where he wants it to go.
Yep, Nathaniel Wood. Have you been keeping an eye on Nathaniel from a striking point of view?
Remember, I'm a fan of this sport, so I watch a lot of UFC events. So, you know, I probably don't study them every single fighter, but I'm always watching, always aware. So, like, definitely names like that, you're always keeping an eye on.
He's in a good fight, Nathaniel Wood taking on Daniel Pineda. Here we go. Here comes the big man, Curtis Blaydes. And tell you something, I know that he got a little bit of pop on the press conference yesterday, as expected. He's an away fighter, and fans are obviously here to see Tom Aspinall. But do you know something? You can't meet a nicer guy. He's such a lovely fellow, is Curtis Blaydes.
Until the cage door closes.
He becomes an animal, doesn't he?
Then if he gets his hands on you, you're going for a ride. You're in big trouble, let's be honest.
The official weight for Curtis Blaydes.
If you're Curtis, though, you know, you're coming over here, there's the expectation of the fan base as well. Everyone's talking about Tom being this new generation heavyweight. He's so fast, he's so quick, he's so destructive. John Jones is next. If you're Curtis Blaydes, you're kind of under the radar.
To be honest, I love being in that position. I've always, I've always said, I love being the underdog and whatnot. It might be that the pressure's not there, whatever it is, but you can always spoil the party as well.
You do seem to get off on that.
I love it, mate. I absolutely love it. So I don't know if every fighter's like that, but I mean, the bigger the challenge, the more comfortable and happy I am to be there.
Sam Patterson there, he's got a big night on his hands. Obviously, last time he was in the UK, he got knocked out viciously. He's bounced back well, went to Canada, got himself his first win in the UFC, but this is a big night for him in Manchester for Sam Patterson.
It is a big night because there's a lot of expectation behind Sam. You know, the people who train around him, people who've watched him for a long time realise that he's a very talented fighter. But he's got to put that one behind him. He did it in Canada, he's got to do it again now in the UK.
Here's a real OG. I'm sure he'll get a decent pop, actually. I know there'll be a lot of fans in the arena for Paddy, but there's a lot of people that respect Bobby Green and his body work. 50th professional walk.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, he's been around for a while. Always exciting fighter as well.
And he's already talking about give me Dan Hooker down under straight after this one, so that's the confidence of him at this stage of his career. But listen,
has Dan not got fire? Has he not got Gamrot?
You know what? I don't know.
There's a rumour of it, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think there was. Yeah, maybe I know something, but I won't say nothing.
But he'll be ready to turn up anyway. King Green if needed. Right, here we go. Let's see if we can get this main event in the books. Obviously, Leon Edwards has already come through. If you just joined the show late, he hit 170, first man on the scales. Here comes Belal Muhammad, who's been cool, calm. He's been quite collected throughout the whole course of the week. This is his shot at UFC glory. 170 is what we're looking for.
Looking really lean.
He is. Looks in great shape. He's obviously put the work in. He's under.
169, the official weight for Belal Muhammad.
We got a title fight.
UFC 304 championship main event is now official.
He does seem to have doubled down on everything that he does in camp. Obviously, pressure, cardio, they're going to be his key weapons, you would think, in this particular fight with Leon. And he's just gone absolutely to the wall in trying to get in the best shape that he can possibly get into.
I think that'll be definitely the best way for him to do it, right? He knows it's going to be difficult. Maybe the later rounds, he can start playing his game a bit more. So you've got to be in shape for that to be the case.
For someone like Belal as well, with all due respect to Belal, because he's a super talented fighter, but he may not necessarily be a huge fan favourite, generate a lot of interest. You know, everyone's high on the Shavkat game right now. Lee and Gary's generating a lot of interest. This chance may not come again for Belal. You know, he's not one of those type of fighters.
Yeah.
He ain't Colby Covington who's trying to keep getting chance after chance after chance, and he knows it, Belal, as well. So we're going to see the very best of him tomorrow night.
This is an interesting one because social media's been rife all week saying, is Manel Cap going to hit weight? I don't know where these rumours come from, but he's hit it quite comfortably. Half a pound under 126, Manel Cap. And again, a big opportunity for him, taking on Mokaev. You would think that the winner of that might be in line for a title shot at flyweight.
Yeah, they're definitely both in that position. Let's see, later on when they're doing the face-off, you're hearing some things been happening. So
It's getting a bit rowdy in the reception.
So we might have to keep them a bit away from each other.
This is Gregory
You
Rodriguez.
love this guy, don't you?
He's
You love Greg.
absolutely just a complete monster. But he's coming in at late notice. You know, he's took this fight at late notice with Christian Leroy Duncan. Because of that matchup, they've actually bumped this from the early prelims to the main card now.
Yeah.
Because Robocop is such an attractive fighter. CLD got knockouts for days as well.
That was the big cut, I remember, right? The big cut, that was his.
That's right, yeah,
He
that's
went full
that.
Cyclops, man.
Oh,
It
mate,
was-
that's something that I just, as soon as I seen him, like, oh, that guy, I know him, but I just can't get that out of my head.
But a guy that's got elite jiu-jitsu.
Elite, like elite Brazilian champion, world champion jiu-jitsu, gets in the UFC, just wants to stand up back. I love it.
Yeah, but that's fan-friendly, mate. That's what we all want to see. We just want to see people throw hands. Massive night for Shauna Bannon. I know I keep saying this about a few fighters, but Shauna obviously lost her UFC debut against the girl that Molly McCann's going to be fighting. She's taken a little bit of time off just to get her head straight. This is a big night for Shauna. Kicking it off as well. She's the first fight of the night.
She's the curtain jerker, yeah. It is a lot of pressure, and it's again against another standing opponent. Alice from Belgium is making her UFC debut. She's got a history. She's fought the likes of Zhang Weili. She's got a lot of experience here. The UFC debut kind of have been overdate, if you like, but I think the fact that Shauna's on a card with Molly and they get on so well will really help her.
116, the official weight for Molly McCann.
Molly McCann down at 116 pounds.
With a smile on her face.
I know.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. That's some serious life-changing
All right, next fighter,
stuff outside the
ladies,
octagon.
beginning
You've got to be
box weight
to hit those types of weights. You've got to be incredibly disciplined, haven't you, to
Yeah,
stay on. I mean, you listen. I'm talking to a man of our weight here, from 200 and odd pounds down to 145.
Yeah, you do, man, 100%. But it's all good things, right? Being disciplined, and that's what's going to make you. That's what's going to separate you from the rest as well, right? If you're doing all them little things that you need to do, all them 1%ers, and pushing yourself to make that weight is definitely a good way of getting that rolling.
Here we go. This is your tip for fight of the night, isn't it?
This is my tip for fight of the night. I'm not just saying that because Volk's with us and it's a featherweight bout, but I just think where they are right now, Giga Chikadze's had a couple of rocks in this division, up in the top 10. Arnold Allen's coming off back-to-back defeats for the first time in his career.
Yeah.
Also right in that top 10. The loser of this potentially slips out of the top 10, while the winner is a win or two away from a title fight once again. So there's so much on the line. Giga's very talented, obviously a kickboxing base. Arnold's incredibly strong, but loves to stand up as well. This is going to deliver Volk, isn't it, this fight?
Yeah, I think so. Like, as we said earlier, I do think that Arnold, he's got a great ground game, right?
He's tight. Giga looks tight here. He's getting the.
Did he step on the scales? Did he
No,
miss
he
scales?
didn't.
Or
He
did
just asked for it straight away. So
Okay.
Giga Chikadze's just asked for the shower curtain straight away, man. Let's see where he's at. 146 to hit, non-title fight. Hopefully there's no problems. Sign of a tight cut. It just
You got it?
146,
Oh,
the official weight for
Yeah,
made it.
yeah, maybe like he just maybe thought he was on, come here and then realised that he's just on. Oh, I need to get the dax off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it could just be that, or maybe I'm not trying to lose any more. Like, you know what I mean? I can't, and I need to have them off. I'm not going to bother doing any more. So yeah, could be both things.
Dax, I like that.
Yeah, Dax. Yeah.
What would you go with? What would you go
Dax.
with? I go for Scruds.
Boxers,
Scruds.
undies,
Yeah.
you know, whatever really.
What do you call it when you Dax somebody? No, you just call it.
What do you call that?
Oh, the old Jamie Moore. What's
Yeah.
that called when you pull someone's pants down?
I don't know if we can repeat it live on TV. There's a certain word that we use here that you can't use that one, sadly. Here we go. He looks in unbelievable condition. That you spent a little bit of time with him in the gym recently, haven't you?
Yeah. You know what? It's helped. It's helped that he's married now. It's helped that he's just had 2 babies. He's changed as a person. He's matured a lot now, and he's always happy. This is his happy place. You know, he's a fighting man at the end of the day. You know, whatever Bobby Green might say about him having, you know, a bit of a silver spoon and gifted here, Paddy's put the work in. He generates a lot of interest. And in that arena on Saturday night, you'll hear it. Liverpool's only 30 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
And he brings a huge travel and support. Absolutely massive. There'll be a big pop for him.
And I was going to say something like we've been in Manchester and the timing of it all. Surely everyone is there for the first fight, right? Like
Should
at
be.
that time of the night. They're just going to be like,
They'll
yeah,
be pumping at 11 o'clock, man.
wait and all right, let's get in there. You know what I mean? Otherwise, they're waiting even longer. So
They've had a full night out. They've been downtown. They've had a few
yeah,
scoops.
it's like get me in there. So like,
In at 11.
it's the roof's going to be popping off from the get-go.
Are you a fan of Scouse House?
Scouse House. I know a bit about the Scouser. Yeah, what's Scouse House though? Is that like?
That's the music.
Oh, okay.
It's a brand of music that
Dance music.
that Paddy Pimblett is singing. He's kind of making it. He's bringing it back in it, especially
It's- I know,
with his.
That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, go on, Scouse House from Paddy the Baddy, mate. That's it. You'll be doing that tomorrow night, mate, when he makes his
Yeah,
move.
as he's walking out.
205, the official weight for Marcin Patnio.
Patnio and Bukauskas both weighing in back to back there. That's an interim fight.
Both in the same position, really, aren't they? As in where they're at in their careers.
Yeah, for Bukauskas, of course, he could always got home advantage, but he was in the UFC, he lost a couple, he got cut, he got a late call. You want to come back in the UFC, but you're going to Australia and you're fighting Tyson Pedro, and that is no easy fight going to Perth to face Tyson Pedro. He goes down there, gets a win, and suddenly he's reborn in the UFC again. Good luck to him.
Yeah, big night for him against Pacino. Bruno Brazil.
I like the way Bruna yesterday with the rest of her team went
he's gonna
over
love
to
this.
Liverpool,
He's gonna love this.
went to Anfield, put a Liverpool shirt on, knowing that Molly's a huge Everton fan. So I love the fact that she's tried her best to scrape a few fans over on Saturday.
Listen, whilst we're speaking about football, tell everybody what you've been up to.
What have I been up to, mate?
First and foremost,
Come
what
on,
football
mate.
team do you support?
Look, I'm a gunner.
Right,
You know,
so
yeah,
he's an Arsenal fan.
Okay.
Where have you been?
Yeah.
Where have you been?
I'm in Manchester, so I've got to see the stadiums, right? You can't be in Manchester and not check out the stadiums. I did check out both. Some will say that's controversially, I shouldn't be doing that, but I mean, I wasn't going to miss the opportunity to see both. I got looked after both of them, but I'm sorry I can't choose between the two.
Yeah.
Arsenal, I've always been since a kid, so it's going to have to stay at that. And I apologise if someone don't know that.
How have you come to be an Arsenal fan?
With FIFA, when I used to play FIFA on the PlayStation, my cousin, so that was our team, so I was always a big fan of Arsenal. We used to watch it together. Well, he actually passed away, so that's why I've still got a connection, a soft spot for it. So it's something that, that's why I can't change.
There you go, mate. No, I like it. Right, if we got on the scale here, Christian Leroy Duncan, who he's had one bump in the road, but I tell you what, last time out he looked absolutely sensational.
He looked incredible. You know, he's had, I think it's 5 fights now in the UFC inside 18 months or whatever, just that one loss on there. But the others have all been stoppages. Listen, from his amateur days in IMAF and everything else, some of the highlight reel stuff he did, taekwondo background he's from, are just mesmerising. It's only a matter of time before we see it in the UFC.
Yeah.
The problem is when you're in with someone like Gregory Rodriguez, it generally takes more than one shot to put that guy down, you know.
Yeah. Preston Parsons on the scales there, as I said a little earlier on. His style against Auburn Elliott, he's very wrestler heavy, looking for submissions, isn't he, is Preston Parsons? I think he's going to try and spoil the fight a touch. Auburn will have to try and keep it on the feet if he's going to deliver something special for his travelling Welsh faithful. But all set for a decent fight, that.
Yeah, it should be brilliant. You know, it's got a good spot on the card early on. It'll get everybody excited. You've got to keep remembering that this show doesn't start till like 11 p.m. So I think a lot of fans are going to be trickling in quite early, around about the midnight time. That's when Auburn's going to be on around that time. And we know from experience previously covering UK UFC events, it needs a spark early on. You get a spark early on, you get a big moment, and the whole fan base picks up, and then suddenly like, okay, the Brits are on the through the night. We're going to need those big signature moments to really lift the crowd up.
You had one of them on your debut as well, didn't you? Because you were on the Whittaker Brunson.
It was, yes, in Melbourne.
In Australia, went in there, delivered the finish, crowd goes crazy, local boy doing his thing, and it just sets the tempo for the night.
It does. I still remember that the main event, so I was backstage, and just when Rob Whittaker, did his thing, and it just was so loud in there. The Aussie fans, but just like the British, I mean, they go nuts, very loud. So looking forward to this weekend to be amongst all that, because it's been a while. I haven't been in a stadium for a while, so. Arena. Cannot wait to just soak up that energy.
And 304 and 305 back to back. England, Australia.
Yeah, man, I'm going to get itchy knuckles after this, mate. If they're not itchy enough now, can you imagine after the weekend in Perth? What am I doing to myself?
I feel sorry for Hunter Campbell's phone, that's all I'll say, because he's going to be ringing it going, get me back in, man.
I'll be at every event, ready to weigh in, you know what I mean? Like,
gummy in back pockets.
My manager's just be like, what are you doing, mate? Calm down.
Mate, get some shorts on, don't jump on these scales and see if we can cause some trouble. For people that have just joined us on the Wayne Show here on TNT Sports, we're still waiting for Tom Aspinall, still waiting for Arnold Allen. Mick Parkin, I was just about to say, he's on his way to the scales right now. We're still waiting for Jay Cadley, Keelan Lachlan, Alice Ardeline and Lucas Beretsky still to come. Still waiting for Hamid Mokhayev as well. But here's Mick Parkin, training partner of Tom Aspinall. He needs a moment this weekend, doesn't he? It's been a bit same gear, let's just say. He needs to go through them this weekend.
This is his 10th professional fight. This is his 4th fight in the UFC. Pre-UFC, he was 6-0 with 6 finishes. He's come into the UFC, he's had 3 back-to-back points decisions, and as you say, he's yet to really go through the gears. I think there's a lot of eyeballs on him this weekend. There's a lot of people wanting to see Mick Parkin create a moment, and with so many British and Irish fighters basically at every card, you've got to jump off the page to make sure people are talking about you the next day. Otherwise, you'll be forgotten about if you don't.
And like you said, if the night starts off with some exciting fights and banging, and that energy's going, it's just going to sometimes give it that. No, I want to go out there and I want to set a statement. I want to capture this moment. And as you were saying earlier, I think that'll get things rolling. So that'll be perfect for him.
Are you conscious of that as a fighter, knowing full well that if you can create a viral moment, that then, let's just say, holds you in better favour with the UFC matchmakers going forward and wanting to achieve the things you want to achieve?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, you still need to fight the right fight.
Yeah,
you've got to try and
can't be reckless.
Still be calculated, but at the same time, it does help a lot. You know what I mean? You especially with the platform you have with the UFC, you want to go capture as much as you can while they're all on the event. A big knockout can honestly turn you into a superstar like that. That's how big it can be. So sometimes people are chasing that. Some people can chase it too much, and it can be, can obviously end well, not end well for them. But at the same time, you capture that moment and you get that viral moment, you can just be a superstar, and then everything just happens from there. Sponsors, good matchups, the UFC's on your side, everything. The media's going nuts about it. So it's definitely something that's on every fighter's mind.
Financially as well, don't forget. Dana agreed yesterday. Instead of being a 50G bonus, it's a $100,000 bonus. He did, yeah. He said, what's your think? And Leon said, yes. He meant, well, Leon says yes, so it's yes. So there's a fight of the night and 2 performance bonuses at least worth $100,000 to anybody on the card. Let's just make that clear. So for the likes of Mick Parkin, Mick will get his show, and he can double his show money by winning, but I guarantee his show and his win bonus don't come close to 100 G's, so he can go home a very happy man if he can score himself.
Mortgage is done, man. Mortgage is paid off.
Exactly.
That's what we want. For people just tuning in thinking, that's not Michael Bisping. No, it's not Michael Bisping. He is double booked himself. So we got the king of the late replacements, the one and only Mr. Alexander Volkanovski, to come and join us, and we're absolutely delighted with that. So keep your comments coming in for the show. We're obviously going to be here right up until everybody has weighed in. We are still waiting for Tom Aspinall to come through and Arnold Allen off the main card. Couple on the prelims and early prelims. I want to get stuck into that co-main event because we've gone all in on the main event. Let's get into the co-main event, shall we? As Tom Aspinall's taking on Curtis Blaydes. It's a bit of a weird dynamic, actually. Main event and co-main event are both coming off the back of original matches that ended prematurely for the pair of them. But Tom, Curtis, we'll speak Tom first and foremost as the interim champion. How impressed have you been with him as a heavyweight?
I mean, it's no secret that I'm a massive fan of Tom Aspinall. For someone, what he's been doing and the work he has done at heavyweight as well, like the speed, the technique, everything is just so beautiful to watch, so well rounded, and nothing but crazy things moving forward for this bloke. I guarantee it. Obviously, Blaydes is a tough matchup, but man, Tom Aspinall, he's so good.
The key thing for me, Nick, has been the mentality shift since the first Blaydes fight, having the year out. he seems to be unapologetic now for being good. He wants to try and become the best in the world.
Yeah, he does, and I think he's realised now that injuries can happen at any time and could end your career prematurely, so what are you waiting for? Go for it. But he just needs to be careful pulling the trigger a bit too early with Curtis, because his heavy grappling game is very dangerous, Volk, and when he's in top position like this, he likes dropping in ground and pound.
Oh yeah, definitely. You definitely don't want to be under any heavy weight, right, when it comes to ground and pound, but especially someone like Curtis Blaydes. Again, wrestling credentials, we haven't seen as much as he probably did earlier in his career.
Yeah.
But I mean, for this big moment, he's definitely going to do what he has to do to get that win. So you can be sure that he's going to try and look for them takedowns.
His only losses, Curtis, in the UFC have come against those knockout merchants, the Francis Ngannous of this world, the Derek Lewises and what have you. Tom has the speed. Does he have that type of power to be able to hurt Curtis Blaydes, do you believe?
I think so, because it's kind of the same thing. Speed kills, So, with all due respect, Tom must be light years faster than Derek Lewis. Does he carry the same amount of weight behind the shot? Undoubtedly no. But with Derek Lewis, you see the shot coming. You just can't do anything about it when it clips you on the chin. With Tom, the problem is you don't see the shot coming. And more often than not, that's the one that knocks you out because you're not ready for it. That said, listen, I'm like Volk. I think Tom's going to go on, but regardless of what John Jones does, one day he will be the full heavyweight champion in the sport, and I think he could put a big run together. But I'd like to see him on his back. I'd like to see this jiu-jitsu off his back. I'd like to see Curtis Blaydes take him down, put him on his back and see what... Because so far, yes, he's had 2 submissions, but the 2 submissions he's had, the rear naked choke of Volkanovski, the straight arm on Volkov, it's kind of basic jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? It wasn't like too technical. Whereas we know Tom's background is this incredible, from the age of 7, black belt level jiu-jitsu. He's been teaching since he was a teenager. I'd like to see a bit of it.
So you want to see a bit of adversity, say maybe just see how he handles himself in a position.
What's he like in round 4 when he gets taken down? Then where's the tank then?
I know what you mean. It's always good to see someone with a prospect, or it's not a prospect, but as someone like Tom Aspinall, you see a bit of adversity. It's going to be hard to put him in adversity. That's the thing, right? But I know what you mean. Where let's see what, especially when someone like John Jones' name gets thrown around there, you want to see how would he handle this? Because John Jones is the IQ and things like that, and there's talk about that, right? Like Dana White even this is big this weekend, so you never know what could happen moving forward. But how are you, mate? Sorry.
We're going to bring our guest in a minute. We're just going to let him refuel. But whilst we're still talking on that heavyweight situation, it's hard to get that data though, isn't it? Because his average octagon time, I think it's 2 minutes 10 through 8 fights.
Only have the first
he doesn't
round
mess about, man. I don't think he needs a shower or anything like that. Just straight into it. He must have a dinner reservation or something. No messing.
Mate, that's one thing that...
Is that the ideal thing?
Oh, of
get
course
in and get
is,
out.
Mate. Like, everyone's like, if you finish the fight early, they're like, oh no, aren't you angry because you put all this work in? Nah, man, get us out of there as quick as possible, mate.
Get it done,
That's it. You put the work in to be as fast as that. That's exactly technically what you want.
You're ready for the worst. Like you want to be prepared for the worst, but let's finish that nice and early. Obviously, that's always going to be key, and it's always going to be good. But it doesn't always end up. You need to make sure you're ready for the adversity, for things that might not go your way.
Let's bring in our next guest. He's just currently refueling. We've just seen him on the scales a moment or 2 ago, looking absolutely in tip-top nick.
Yes, Volk, nice to meet you. How's you good?
The one and only Paddy the Baddy. How are you, sir? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. What's happening?
Very well indeed, mate. Camp-wise, listen, you've spoken about this camp quite a lot, actually, from the mental challenges and various things like that. But physically, mate, you're looking in incredible condition. Has it gone to plan?
Yeah, it has. You know what I mean? Everything's went sound. Physically, the best I've ever felt, to be honest. I know everyone always says that, but I think just look at me on the scales, you can see how much, physically I look better, you know what I mean? I put a bit of size on. I think this is the best I've looked.
We've spoken on the show about there seems to be a mentality shift. There seems to be, don't take this the wrong way, but there seems to be, Paddy the Daddy's like a little bit, he's grown up, there's a bit of maturity there now, and the way that you're speaking and the way that you're carrying yourself. Do you think that's fallen into the way that you're starting to prepare for fights now?
Yeah, it probably is, to be honest. I didn't notice it myself, you know what I mean? Everyone else around me said it, like my coaches, my teammates, like Molly's, my wife, you know what I mean? They've said, they noticed the difference in me, so I don't notice it, lad. I'm just me, you know what I mean? I don't notice anything different, but yeah, everyone else has noticed it.
The opportunity to get yourself a ranking in the UFC lightweight division, one of the toughest divisions in the entire sport. For you personally, to finally, because you've had, for all the support you've got just as many critics as well. To finally be able to shut them up and go, what are you going to say now? I'm ranked now, what are you going to say? That must be a nice feeling.
The amount of people that have said, he'll never be ranked, he's not good enough to fight anyone in the top 15, he gets starched by anyone in the top 15. I just can't wait to punch Bobby's head in and take the ranking, know what I mean? Not just get handed the ranking, take the ranking.
Yeah, we see you come through some adversity in the Tony Ferguson fight as well. That third round, it looked like your gas tank was empty, but you still won it, you still won the round.
I still dominated the fight, know what I mean? He's got a few sausages on the internet trying to say that it was a close fight and that I lost the third round. I took him down and sat on top of him for like 4 minutes, punching him in the face.
Yeah.
How did I lose that round? Know what I mean? People just talk absolute pony, lad.
Was the explanation to that running out of gas? Was it the year out that you had with your ankle? Was it the fact that you went all in that first round to finish Tony? Or was it maybe a combination of both?
Combination of it all, to be honest, I think, you know what I mean? I also went for the big fat Italian the night before that I don't think helped, you know what I mean? Loads of garlic bread and cheese and all shite like that. I really don't think that helped at all. I think that sat on my stomach a bit wrong. So then obviously I hadn't fought in a year. And then I was fighting a machine like Tony Ferguson who just doesn't get tired, you know what I mean? He'd done that stupid Hell Week with David Goggins and that, and he's one of them, lad. He could probably climb a mountain and then fight 5-5s.
Yeah,
so when I tried to take his head off in that first round. I just wanted to get him out of there, wanted to get him finished, wanted to make a statement, and in the process of trying to make a statement I ended up doing the opposite and getting tired, and in the third round having to just control him and making sure to win the fight.
So we've seen now with the hair. I remember I watched the interview where you're talking about and you're doing the plaits.
Yeah.
When does that process happen? You wait just before the fight?
Yeah, tomorrow night. Tomorrow night I'll be getting that done before go to venue. I've actually just got a time then. Yeah, they're just giving me time. I'm getting it done at 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
Okay.
So yeah,
I don't really need to worry about that sort of
yeah,
stuff.
no, you're nice, lad.
You're
Nice.
It's a good problem to have.
That's the thing. I had to then when I got out my bath, my last bath, I had to rub all the sweet sets off me, and then it's like past the hair dryer, lad. Gotta dry my hair before I come down because it's all wet and that adds a bit of weight on. Know what I mean?
The fan base are going to need some new wigs, man. You're going to need some new merch.
Tell me about it. Know what I mean? I'm gonna have to get like skull caps with cornrows on. Know what I mean? But it's one of them. It's a trademark.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
Know what I mean? And if I shave my head like that, my missus would divorce me. Know what I mean? She'd be like, "Whoa, who's this? Who's this?" Know what I mean? My missus would just shut the door on me. Know what I mean? So I couldn't do that. Laura would not be happy.
We've just been explaining to Volk about Scouse House, and when you make that walk and the tune kicks off, you've got the dance. You're
I'm ready for it. I'll be ready for it.
You're ready to rock and roll, man. And when you walk, it is something quite spectacular to be in the arena when it goes off.
Yeah, it goes off in a big way. I've been using this same song since I was like 19 years of age on Cage Warriors, know what I mean? It's a trademark. I'm never going to change my song now. Like, there's so many good songs. Like, I love a Tom Aspinall entrance, know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he changes his song each time, and like his last one, An Englishman in New York, was a brilliant walkout song.
Listen,
Know
this
what
man's
I mean?
got a trademark tune. He walks to the trademark tune.
Yeah.
You've got the trademark tune.
That's it.
You've got to have it, haven't you?
You've got to have it,
sure.
defo.
That's it, mate. Listen, we're going to let you go and replenish and go and get yourself fit for the rest of the day, mate.
Thank you
so
very
much for your
You know
time,
that.
sir.
Pleasure to meet you both. Pleasure.
Fantastic. There you go.
Paddy,
Paddy the Baddy there taking on Bobby Green, or King Green, as he is now known, obviously, on that main card. Listen, do you know something? I've seen Paddy after weigh-ins really drained, like he's really struggled to hit that weight. God, there's so much energy there. He felt good.
He's a big lightweight, man.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that. I met him before. I remember, I think it was after last one. Hey, quick hello. We've been meaning to catch up, so it's probably going to have to be after the fight now. But just next to him, like, even though he's cut weight, he still looks like he's a big human being. Obviously, I'm small, so everyone looks big next to me. But I see a lot of lightweights. He's a big lightweight.
Yeah, he used to do featherweight, believe it or not. He was a featherweight champion before he come into the UFC, but he's just behaving like an athlete now. I know he does blow up and he does seem to put weight on in his face, and people go to town on social media over it and everything else, but right now both himself and Molly McCann, obviously the same camp, they brought in full-time nutritionists, they brought in full-time strength and conditioning people that monitor everything that goes into their bodies, not just in the 10 weeks leading up to camp, either outside of camp, just to monitor them, because I think Paddy's realised now that he has got this huge fan base, he has got this opportunity to make a real surge, but he can't half-arse it.
Yeah.
He's got to be all in 100%. Because if he's all in 100%, then he can look back and go, you know what? At least they give it everything. Rather than looking back and going, well, maybe I could have done more.
And something else for the fans tomorrow night: orange shorts.
Yes, the old signature shorts are back.
He wore them in Cage Warriors. Have they sorted you out with signature shorts yet?
No, they haven't.
Next time, what would you go for?
We might have to. I don't know. We're going to have to look into that.
Maybe the old rugby league colours or something like that.
Little tiny footy shorts. Yeah, exactly.
I used to wear them everywhere. On the job site and everything.
Listen, we've spoken to Paddy. Let's speak to Molly McCann.
We're just
Meatball Lights. I tell you what, I do like these tracky tops, mate.
Now I've got a belt, a pair of New Balance for them, but I'll save them for when we're not in the UFC, and I'm allowed to wear them, because if not, venom, isn't it?
Listen, we've just been speaking about weight cuts and various things like that. First fight, 126, and you showed me the picture of you at 126.
I'm full already. My belly's popped off the water.
Absolutely no bother whatsoever. It felt.
You
might be able to tell us something different.
I had 2 pounds to do this morning, so woke up at 10 o'clock, had a little bath, shaved my legs, got in the sauna blanket, put some songs on.
Job done.
Job done, boys.
Easy.
Job done.
Easy. Talk to me about tomorrow night and this particular matchup. Obviously, you've stepped down in weight. First one, we get the submission victory. Fantastic stuff. What can these fans expect tomorrow evening when you step in there?
Concise pressure, steady, calm head, feints and fakes. Take her to the cage. Try and knock her out against the cage. If I don't, take her back and choke her head off.
You see that? They were quite robotic, that. And it's like it's programmed.
Easy way.
It's like I've spent 12 weeks working on patterns for this fight.
One thing I will ask, so I've obviously floated with divisions and things like that, but I've always felt, even at featherweight, sometimes I almost feel like I'm stronger than I am even at lightweight, which just doesn't really make sense. But for you, do you feel like you lose any strength by going down, or you just...
So say this is 5 13 in the UFC. My weight, my strength, so my 1 rep maxes is the same at 115 as what it is at 125. My velocity and power is faster at 115. So I'm moving the weight quicker at this weight, and I'm lifting the same as what it was at 125. So if I can do the same as Volk, I'm in for a good night.
Absolutely, same power but with more speed. What did you make of Bruno yesterday, Mal, going over to Liverpool, putting a Liverpool shirt on,
Block
walking
asset,
around
what
Anfield?
are you? I thought you were run by are they not Scousers? Ethan, I thought we were good lads.
Yeah, but Liverpool are a Scouse team, mate. They could support the other half of Liverpool.
I'm fighting a Brazilian and you're taking it to Liverpool and putting it in there. The weirdos, I don't know.
Maybe they're giving you some extra fuel.
Well, it's proper
worked,
butter,
has it?
yeah. I was cutting weight this morning. I was like, oh right, I'll be speaking to them. Now I can't wait to stand over and go up the toffees.
They're all having a little bit of a go.
Yeah, I know. Sorry guys, we're straight out of the scales and we're not quite with it anyway, but we're definitely not with it now.
Is it the traditional carbonara?
Yeah, I'm going for the carbonara, she said. Paul Petty.
He never told us.
Oh, Joel, my business partner. I've got a restaurant, Volk. Paul Petty.
Look at him plugging now. She's plugging businesses on the telly.
He cooks. Paul Petty means meatball in Italian.
All right.
And he's bringing us a carbonara and a little meatball sub and that. So you can have one.
How far
Do you want a meatball sub?
How far away is that? I might have to get it.
No, he's bringing it now.
I was going to go.
You can have one.
I'll let you say
No, he's bringing loads for everyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I might have
Paul
to
Petty, the firm.
Is this your first Paul Petty in how many weeks?
Oh, 13. You came
You've
on
seen me there twice in the time you haven't had one, by the way.
I'm staring at it like that. I've made Paddy the whole menu when I weren't even allowed to eat in camp, and I was just like...
Listen, you'll have to get an episode of Cooking with Volk in the Paul Petty kitchen. That's what you need.
We'll do a carbonara or some other meatball, actually. Sorry, it's going to have to be the...
Well, do you know what? You're good at cooking lamb ribs, like a rack of lamb ribs.
Okay, yep.
So I was thinking pistachio crusted lamb rib, but we take the bone off, chop it up, put a bit of chimichurri or something in there on a sub, because everything in Liverpool we put it all in bread, yeah. That's why I always made 125.
All right. That's what I was going to ask you. Is that something that you do all week? Just I know I used to you just watch food channels and just think of food all day.
That's all she does.
This week's been focaccia. So it's like, what focaccias can we make? Jam, donut, focaccia.
All right.
What?
She-
This is what she does.
Lad,
She spends the whole
honestly-
camp thinking of new ideas for the menu, torturing herself.
Jam donut focaccia.
It's coming.
That
It'll
doesn't
be
work.
Lad, how much do you want to bet it works? How much do you want to bet it works? And then we do them like little muffins. You can come and try it.
Okay. Right. Anyway,
So fighting anyway. Bruno Brazil, really good opponent. Can't
Yeah.
wait to have a good solid dance.
Let's talk about food. Let's talk about the fight. You know?
No, yeah.
here's one for you. Is there a little bit of extra spice for you because she's obviously had a dance with Shauna
Yeah, of
previously?
course it is, yeah. You know the score, lads, when someone's got one over your teammate, it's like extra bit of... I might throw one a little bit harder there, do you know what I mean? A little low blow might come into play.
An extra one,
little
maybe
hit,
after
yeah, yeah. Beep. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah,
no.
or no? Which one?
I'm done in here. Sorry, lads, we still have to speak loud, right? No, she's getting... I can't swear.
She's getting beat.
Fans, Saturday night, don't blink. Will we see the spinning elbow?
If it's there, I'm not
Yes.
going to go hunting. Lads, I won't. What I've learnt is every time I pushed for the finish, it didn't come. The times when I never, it has.
Yeah.
I am hunting for a 100G bonus though.
Yes.
I can get me a new pole petter somewhere else.
Enjoy it. Because we've been speaking all night about certain signposts on this card. You're one that we've flagged up that could just take the energy
Lift the
levels
crowd
up
up.
a touch. You know what I mean?
Like, you know, the face, and no disrespect to anyone, because there isn't, because everyone who's on this card is like gold standard. We know what happens when I come out. We know what happens then. The momentum shifts and builds, and then Patrick comes out and it shifts and builds, and then we'll see if anyone's still awake for the lads, because everyone might be...
Adrenaline down.
Yeah.
Adrenaline down. You took it all off.
Trying the best.
Go on. I'll let you go and
Go on then, let's do it
rehydrate.
again, lad.
Make sure you bring them
Thanks, Mark.
sandwiches when they
No,
come,
I
yeah?
will. 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
Ian,
meatball
what time
sub.
is it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Like 24 minutes.
There you go. That's that out of the
There
way.
we go, chef. Come straight here, please, chef, with those meatball subs.
Listen, she's looked good since she's gone down in weight. Really
Yeah.
good. I know that obviously we've only got one piece of information there, but a submission victory is something that she's not used to doing. She's really developed that grappling game.
She's one of the smallest fighters in the UFC. She has got the smallest wingspan in UFC history, the shortest arms. So she had to, at some stage, move down to the smallest weight division possible. Otherwise, she'd always be at a disadvantage. But this is what she brings every time. Excitement, pressure, ingenuity,
Hey, what's she
heavy
doing?
striking.
We're watching you on TV,
We're
mate.
just watching your highlights. Yeah. Well, let's just dip the chocolate
For those
bar
actually
into a pot of chocolate.
Yes, for those that are with us and you're watching Molly perform on TV right now, she stood in front of the camera there 2 minutes ago, dipping chocolate in chocolate, enjoying herself. Go on, as you were saying,
I thought it was going to be like the sandwich or something, or the carbonara. I was like, you know what it was? Like,
There we go,
okay.
yeah, exactly.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask her about, how she felt at, the lighter division. Because a lot of people think, like, oh, you're going to be stronger at the heavier division. I don't feel that way. My last few weeks of camp, when I'm fighting at featherweight, I swear I get stronger and stronger than the last few weeks. It's just my weight. I'm just in the prime weight for me.
Optimal.
Optimal. It's just at that weight where I'm that little bit lighter. I don't know what it is. So now even when I can put on more weight when it comes to fight time, but I choose to stay lighter. So I can get up to 77, which is 170 if I really wanted to,
Yeah.
but I choose to stay a few kilos lighter.
Okay.
And I try not to eat and drink as much. I really do. That's what I do. Sometimes I feel a bit heavy. I go, I might sweat a little bit just so I can bring it back down, because I know I'm at my optimal at that little bit lighter. And that's why I wanted to ask her. And she says she's ticking boxes. She's just as strong and now way faster. That's the optimal.
Yeah, absolutely.
whilst we've been speaking about food, Molly McCann's got us in this frame of mind. Check this out, Volk, right? Because obviously you are a food man, okay?
Whoa.
Right, there's a lot of carbohydrate on this
I can
plate.
see.
There's an awful lot of grey on
I'm
that
going to
plate,
talk you
yeah.
through this, right?
Can I ask, is this a thing?
This is a thing. Right, now...
Okay, explain.
Right, let me explain what it is, right? We are in the north of England, and to be fair, people actually watching this in the south of England might be thinking, what on God's
The
green
hell is
earth is
this?
that?
I can tell you exactly what that is, and I don't even...
Go on, what do you think it is?
Well, it's a meat pie in a sandwich.
That's correct, which
So
is effectively known in these areas as a Wigan kebab, right?
Wigan kebab.
So Wigan is a place in Greater Manchester, just on the outside of the main city.
Yeah.
It's a little town. Some people refer to it as a pie bomb, but this is a Wigan kebab.
Wigan kebab. See, look, I get it in a sense where I guarantee it's still going to be nice. Get a bit of tomato sauce in there.
Yeah.
Or some
mate.
peas, a little bit of a pie floater, that would probably go down pretty well.
But I mean, the meat pie is just... I love a meat pie. I don't feel like you need the bun. But that's the thing, huh? Wigan, what is it called? The Wigan
kebab.
Wigan kebab. Oh,
Yes.
Wigan kebab. Yeah.
Would you like to have a go?
Yeah, I'll have a bite.
Go on then, mate.
Is there any sauce? Any good sauce?
Is there any ketchup anywhere? Have we got any
Ketchup,
ketchup?
mate.
We might have
I
some ketchup.
reckon
Look at this man.
that'll
So
be
he
the-
wants condiments. Have we got any? What is that?
It's
Bit of
gravy.
gravy.
Is that a Wigan
I think
thing?
that'll work. I think that'll work.
It's a
I
bit.
reckon
It's a
it
bit.
will.
It's a bit of moisture.
I reckon there's plenty of.
Not too much. Not too, a little
Nah,
bit.
because there's plenty of pastry
There we go.
Yeah.
and bread.
Yeah, a
So
little bit
now
of
we
moisture
can
there.
just
There you go.
Bit of moisture.
get it. Yeah, yeah.
Do you want me to hold the
Moisten
microphone?
up a
Go on,
little.
get
Yeah,
2
okay,
hands
let
on
me
that, mate. Don't be spilling on your top or
Alright.
anything like that,
I
pal.
love a meat pie, so this can't be bad.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean,
There you go.
I don't think you need the bread, but don't be offended.
There you go.
I'm sure it's going to be good.
Didn't think you'd be tuning into this today, did you? One of the best fighters on the planet, just having a little bit of a go on a Wigan kebab.
It's really nice.
Yeah. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, mouthful. It's actually nice with the gravy. So now Wigan, put some gravy in it.
There we go. It needs that bit of moist. You heard it here from
Are
Volk.
you going to do the lot? Oh, right. Okay. He's going to. Yeah. He's going to
going
crack
all in.
on. Yeah. You happy?
Mega.
You happy with that?
I think we need a rating on this.
Yeah.
A rating out of 10.
Yeah.
Where we going?
I'm hungry as well, yeah?
It looked good.
Oh wait, there's more coming. I shouldn't have had so much.
Right. Okay. We've got some more culinary delights for
But
you. Okay.
you know what? That was actually all right.
Yeah.
Pie wasn't too bad. Still good temperature.
Oh, I know what
tomato
this
sauce,
is.
though.
This is a delicacy, my friend. This is tremendous.
Right. Okay.
You
Talk
do
us through it,
know
Nick.
that
Talk us through
the
it.
beauty of this, I didn't know exactly what we were doing, but I'm hungry. So
Okay, mate.
Good.
You
So-
actually get to see me eat
so
it.
thi-
I'll tell
This
you
is-
what. We will judge. Right. So you've done the Wigan kebab.
Yeah.
This
You
is
explain this one to me.
salt and pepper chips.
Salt and pepper chips.
Salt and pepper chips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get these
I thought
from.
you said salsa and pepper chips.
Salt and
There's a
pepper
salsa
chips. So you want to get the peppers, the onions,
right.
the
Peppers
chips,
is in-
all in there as well.
and
Yeah.
peppers, right? All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm going to try and get some of the other stuff.
That's right.
Let me get a bit of everything. So this is the thing, eh?
This is the thing,
These
salt
are
and pepper
culinary
chips.
delights from the north of England, my man. These you would find
Sorry,
this
I want to make sure I get a bit of everything.
in a.
That's why it's taken a while, so I
Go
apologise.
for it, mate. There you go.
There
There
you
you go. You find this in a Chinese chip shop, my friend.
Absolutely. My kids love these.
That's not bad, actually. That's nice. It's actually good. It works. I reckon gravy on that too would probably work too.
You want some gravy on that as well?
Oh, you probably don't need it, but I mean the gravy's been, that was a nice gravy.
Yeah. You want to blast us some gravy on
I
that?
need extra calories, you know what I mean?
Right, okay. Man's moving up to lightweight. Here we go. Move that.
There we go. There we go.
There we go.
I told you I'm about to go on the way in at 170, so
That's it.
Nah.
There you go. Sorted.
It's actually alright, it's good.
Yeah.
Here I am, you're like, I'm just going to have a taste here, I'm just digging in.
We were thinking about Volk as a replacement maybe for the main event, but Tom hasn't weighed in yet, so there's always heavyweights.
Heavyweight Volks on his way, ladies and gentlemen. You happy with that?
Yep.
Solid. Right. Okay.
What's next? What's
Well,
next?
I've got something for you.
But-
I've got something for you.
Hand
Nick.
it over.
I hope this is something not beige. There's been an awful lot
Yeah, a
of
lot of
beige
beige,
at the
a lot of
moment.
beige.
Surely we can do some colour.
wait,
can't we?
wait, wait.
No, we can't. Evidently, we can't
So
do
we've done
anything.
the Wigan kebab. Now
This
this
is-
is a bit different. So we've got the Wigan kebab.
This is a dessert now.
Now you've done the salt and pepper chips. Now this is
That's
what we.
choc chip in there,
So
isn't it?
Eccles is an area of Manchester. Okay. And this is a famous cake from that area. All right. So we've got the Eccles cake. Now inside there you will have raisins, currants, all those types of things. Obviously with a pastry base. So you go for it, mate. Because this is a serious delicacy from around these neck of the woods.
Okay.
All right, mate.
Let me have a crack.
Are you a sweet man or are you more
Yeah,
savoury?
no, I'm pretty simple with the sweets, though. Like
Okay.
just chocolate, love it. But
Okay.
we'll see how this goes.
Okay.
Everybody watching around the world is like, that is typical British fare. It's always beige.
Beige, mate.
Everything's beige.
So where's it from?
Eccles, it's an area of Manchester which is called Eccles. Go on, what are you thinking? Does it remind you of anything?
Not bad. I'm not saying, but I mean,
It's the least favourite.
yeah. If I wanted to, if I was going to go and get, I want a bit of dessert, or I want a bit of, something sweet,
That would not be the one.
it wouldn't be my first choice.
It reminds me.
And that's not saying that's not good,
Off that.
but
do,
yeah,
do you ever have mince pies at Christmas time?
mince pies,
Yeah.
Have you ever had that?
as in a meat pie, just a normal meat pie.
No, mince pie.
Mince.
Christmas mince pie. It's got fruit inside it.
It's a
Oh,
sweet
really?
pie. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't had that one.
It's similar to that.
I get it.
Just, we've got some water for you if you wanted a little drink there. Whilst Tom Aspinall hits the scales.
Here he is.
Here we go. Bringing the flag out as well. Here he is. Tommy Two Knees, ready to rock and roll on the scales here in Manchester. We saw Curtis Blaydes a little earlier on. He weighed in. All done. We're just waiting for Tom Aspinall to come through. We've had everybody on the main card bar Tom. And I tell you what, he's in some strip at the moment. He's taking this camp incredibly seriously. Abs on a 260 odd pound man. Here we go. 251 lighter.
The official weight for Tom Aspinall, and with that, your UFC interim heavyweight championship fight is now official.
Does that suggest a bit nimbler on his feet, Vol? Just keep those feet, on the ball, so his feet a bit more, looking for the potential takedowns of Curtis Blaydes?
Yeah, but obviously, or maybe just feels like he works better there and just as strong as we mentioned earlier, right? Like sometimes people think, the heavier you are, the stronger you are. That maybe not the case.
Yeah.
He probably goes, I'm just as strong, now I get to move even better.
Yeah.
So now he wants to try and take me down, try and find me. That's going to be a lot harder for you now because I'm moving well. It's a 5-round fight. I'm not carrying as much weight. And like I said, if you feel like you're just as strong, that's what that's exactly what I'd rather do. And I think that might be the case. He must think that that's his optimal, as we said earlier. So it just depends. It really does depend. I think a lot of people are thinking, Curtis Blaydes is going to try and grapple him, wrestle him, or he should have more weight. But I don't think so. I think the movement and what he's so good at, and him being lighter, we might see more explosive, which is going to be mind-blowing because he's so explosive for a heavyweight.
Yeah.
Let's see how he's moving at this lighter division. Weight.
That is a considerable amount of weight lighter than he was against Pavlovich when he won the belt, but then he took that 2 weeks notice.
Yeah.
So he's bound to be heavier, It's not like, I think sometimes we can overanalyze the weight, especially with heavyweights. He's put more weight on to sit down on his shots to generate more power. It was probably just the 2 weeks notice. We're probably just seeing Tom at his optimal weight, where he's most comfortable.
Plus as well as that, and you can speak about this, Paul, sometimes you start your MMA career, you don't have the nutrition education, you don't have the training education, and as you grow,
the finances to pay for it.
Yeah, and as you learn more stuff, you add more little wrinkles to the arsenal. Right now, we're talking about a premier heavyweight at the peak of his powers, with the best nutrition, the best education that he's got, and you're seeing the benefits of that in his physique when he's hitting the scales. And I'm sure you had that throughout your career at some point as well.
Of course. We used to do it rough. You know what I mean?
To blag
it was do everything rough, right? Even just making the weight, doing that completely wrong during camp. So you're getting sick, and then even afterwards, you're not reloading that good. You're on the toilet, when you should be walking out to the fight. Mate, it's happened. You know what I mean? But having the right people around you with the knowledge that's there, it is next level stuff, and it's so much more enjoyable as well. You get to eat real good. You know what I mean? Because you think, I need to lose weight, I'm going to just eat nothing. Because we don't know any better. There's still probably athletes out there that still go down that process, but the more they're fighting, and obviously financial, position is obviously going to help with that. You start to get, but the knowledge is out there.
Of course.
So if people are watching that, just sort of do your own thing, try and get a bit of knowledge, because it can be quite dangerous, and you're going to perform much better.
Yeah, it's like putting grade A fuel into a race car. Yeah. You put red diesel in, then you're going to have to work through that red diesel to keep the engine going. Whereas, Tom's a bit more of a tractor, but he just looks in.
Have you just described him as a tractor?
Yeah, but one of those fast Lamborghini tractors, them really smart
Good
ones.
Save, mate.
Yeah, there
Good
we
save,
go,
good
exactly.
Save.
But
I'll tell him.
Kind of like with Leon. I think Leon right now, when you look at Leon, you think, wow, there's a guy that is absolutely peaking right now as an athlete, and you want to enjoy it. With Tom, we've seen so much, we talked about him so much, but I think we're still a little bit away. And in 2 or 3 years' time, what's his body going to look like then, and what's he going to perform like then? That's the frightening thing.
Looking forward to seeing him do his thing come Saturday night. For those that have just tuned in to our show, the whole main card has weighed in. I can tell you that there hasn't been any weight misses on that main card. Belal Muhammad actually coming in under 170, came in at 169. Leon Edwards was the first on the scale, job done, so everybody's been sorted there. We had Jika Chikadze right on the line, didn't we? He's the only one that's used the towel or the shower curtain. We're still waiting for Jake Hadley, who took this fight on late notice, so there might be a little bit of something in that. We're waiting for Keelan Lachlan as well to come. Mohamed Mokaev we haven't seen in, and Alice Ardeline as well. We've spoken to Paddy Pimblett, but from a King Green, Bobby Green point of view as he enters this fight. He seems very similar to what you were saying before about yourself, revelling in the away day. The crowd are maybe baying for a little bit of blood, but he seems to be rising to that occasion. I saw him at the press conference yesterday. He seems to be absolutely loving his time in Manchester.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be fazed by too much, right? He's just going to fight his fight. He's I don't think he's going to be, rattled by anything that's going to, but even with the crowd or, Paddy, even when things are probably going well for Paddy, you still can see, Bobby or King King Green. Yeah, I've got to try and get used to that. You can still see him. He's just still going to play his game. I don't think it would be very hard to rattle someone like that. I truly do believe. So it's going to be interesting. One thing I did want to say is we were talking about the weight. Do you reckon the 3 p.m. during the day is made that? Because I swear that makes things easier.
Yeah. What, not having to wake up on weight?
Yeah, the wake out having all day to lose that weight. You reckon that plays a big factor? I wonder if the timing of when the weigh-ins are, it would be good to see if people miss weight more because it's too early in the morning, or just things like that. I just felt like I wanted to say that with you, and we went over somewhere else. I just wanted to bring that back.
No, I like it.
I forgot about it.
If you remember, it used to be that way. We used to weigh in the afternoon because the ceremonial weigh-ins used to be the actual weigh-ins, and then it was changed. It was brought forward to 9 a.m. for the official weigh-ins, and the ceremonial stayed in the afternoon for more of a
showcase.
A showcase, yeah. So I always thought then the question marks now, well, wait a minute, where's the benefits? Because now instead of waking up and cutting the weight to the weigh-ins, now you've got to cut the weight before you go to bed. Try and have a horrible night's sleep almost on weight. Wake up in the morning, get rid of the last few pounds. What is the benefit? Of course, the science behind it says the longer you get to put that weight back on, the safer it is. So instead of being 24 hours, it opened up to more like, the best part of a day and a half. Obviously, it's moved back here because the fight's in the middle of the night. So, from a fighter perspective, I think they'd all rather weigh in later in the afternoon. But the science says you need more than 24 hours to put it back on safely.
It's weird. I sit there and I bring that question up. Like, maybe it is that later. I prefer the morning. I want to hurry up. Wake up, get out there, and then I've got the rest of the day. I feel like I can do that rather than trying to rush everything in before I go to sleep. I do prefer that, but I feel like it would be much easier for people that don't have it down pat to just get off during the day. I think it would be safer to lose the weight, like you said, overnight, dehydrated, waking up in the morning, they're probably miserable, and I don't want to do the rest of it. You know what I mean? Like that's maybe how some people be. I'm never going to have that problem. I'm going to just get it done every single time. But maybe I just feel like that could be why we're seeing people so comfortably making it. That's what I think anyway.
See, interesting.
A
bit of science on the show, man.
Back to Bobby, King. You know what I mean? He was. Now, again, it would be hard to rattle someone like him. I feel like his style is very, very awkward sort of style. And I didn't I wasn't at the press conference. But from what you're saying, like he wasn't too rattled by the crowd because they're going to be booing him, right?
Yes.
Surely, you know what I mean? But for me,
it's not like he's not seen it before.
Yeah, exactly right. It's the same as for me. Like I know I'm going in there, I'm using that as fuel. You're cheering for me, I'm using that as fuel. It just depends what mindset you have going into it. Expect it. All right, no worries. Let's use that.
And from Paddy's point of view, you brought it up with him. The opportunity to prove a lot of people wrong, get yourself ranked in a division when people have doubted that previously.
Yeah, and listen, if he comes through and gets his arm raised against King Green, then there can't be any more questions about him, because it's not like, with all due respect, he got a great win over Tony Ferguson. He won every round of that fight. He looked phenomenal in the first round. He had to dig in, as I say. But he still took criticism because people saying, well, that Tony Ferguson's washed now. It isn't the same guy he once was a few years ago. He's at the back end of his career. You can't have the same criticism about King Green because he has been incredibly active. There is just one loss in his last 5 fights. He is ranked on merit. So for Paddy, it is a significant step up in the level of competition. I just hope if he does get his arm raised, and I truly say if he does, I think outside of the UK, Paddy's got to be the betting underdog. You've got to go with Bobby Green. He'll probably be betting favourite here in the UK because of the amount of fans that he's got. But this is a real test for him, a real step up, and he's just got to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, really looking forward to that fight. We're also looking forward to a fight that is kicking off our main card. Jika Chikadze taking on this man. If we can bring him into the show very kindly, the one and only Triple A himself, Almighty Arnold Allen. How are you, buddy? You good?
Yeah, good, man. You guys good?
Very well indeed.
Very good.
Very well
Very
indeed.
good. We're getting excited about your fight earlier, but we collectively, I know we said this to you earlier in the week, but collectively we're like, that's going to be fight of the night.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it's a good performance tonight. We don't want to go and have some wild brawls, but fight night's always.
Yeah, if you're going to get that 100k, let's get it from performance.
Yeah. 5 minutes.
Exactly. This man knows, he's done it all, so that's it. We want performance.
Yeah. Arnie, was the head out? Obviously, we're in an unusual position for you because you went on this unbelievable undefeated streak, ran into one of the best in Max, just fell short. Obviously, last time out against Mosvart, just fell short again. An unusual situation for you. What's the mentality been at in camp preparing for this one?
Yeah, it's been great. I feel like a few little tweaks on those things. you know, all the best comebacks, all that. You need the big setback.
He apologised. I didn't have to do that then. He did it. Brilliant.
You know, like maybe I needed to correct some things. Maybe the win streak. Maybe I started thinking I was better than I was. Got humbled twice. Maybe I got humbled, but I don't think I ever needed it. But yeah, it lit a new fire under me 2 times. Still young, still a lot to prove. Chip on my shoulder, and I want to get in there and do it, and like show what I can actually do. You know.
Does that resonate with you? That type of vibe?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. As he said, you know, you get the setback. All right, I need to, you know, you want to come back from adversity and stuff like that, right? And then twice, all right, now I've got a chip on my shoulder. I'm going to work harder. As you said, I don't think you need humbling.
Yeah.
You're a great human being and a great fighter. I was going to ask, obviously Manchester. Last time we saw you here, was it Dan Hooker the last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, no.
In the UK.
Yeah.
In the UK, sorry. And obviously with the crowd and all that, and you went at it. Is that sort of what you're looking for, or you're I've got a job to do. I'm going to go out there and use all my tools.
Yeah, I mean that's always an option. I don't think he does well under that kind of pressure, but he's dangerous. I'm not going to run at him like that with my chin in the air. That's never option one. It's always in the back pocket, you know, like if something stupid happens, well, I'll oblige. Yeah.
Listen, from a fan point of view, I'd love you to be because it's absolutely super entertaining.
Yeah.
No. Like you said, you want the performance bonus.
Yes.
You don't need the other bonus. All right?
Exactly.
It's exciting to be back in the UK in front of a pro Arnold Allen crowd. Everyone's going to be there for you. You're kicking off this main card. You've got that golden spot on the card where everyone's going to be really building towards this main card run, and you're in prime position. The pop's going to be unreal. You must be excited when you think about it.
Yeah, I am buzzing, but all I keep thinking about is that no sleep and I got a 6-hour drive home. So yeah, I mean, that's a long old drive.
Listen, Ipswich are in the Premier League now, man. It's cool.
Yeah.
We can ride that out.
They're going to smash some team, what was it, August 17th?
I don't know. That better not be the Liverpool game.
that's
That better be the week after.
Some boys coming down in red, they're getting sent home.
Yeah.
It's even trash talking, you know, the football.
Exactly.
Tremendous. Listen,
it.
man, we'll let you get off and get rehydrated,
No
mate.
worries, mate.
Great to see you on it.
Thanks, guys.
Have a wonderful evening tomorrow night, mate.
Cheers,
Take it. Wait, there you
There
go.
we
Top
go.
man. Arnold Allen there. I like that. Listen, apologies for people watching there at home for maybe some of the choice language in there, but this is a man making weight, getting ready to have a little bit of a scrap tomorrow night in his underpants.
You don't ever want to, you know, someone swear, but I mean, Arnold Allen's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
See him swearing, a bit of fire, I like it, you know what I mean? But I'm sorry about that, you know.
But again,
Get out of character,
I
mate.
like that. I like the fact that that's where his head's at. You know what I mean? He's come off the back of two. I mean, we're talking 2 really narrow defeats there. He pushed Max all the way. Max was better than him on the night. That's fair enough. And then against Mosvar, it's probably 2-1. Either way, you could probably argue.
Yeah,
there. So
he
he's
was
come
upset
off
about not getting the result that night.
So he's come off a close one there. I like that it's lit a fire underneath his belly.
Well, you got to remember both them fights, as you said, were very close anyway, and they're great fighters. So Max Holloway, and he did great. I thought he looked great early.
Yeah.
So you can't be too hard on yourself. You know, you can't be losing. You know, I hope it's not somewhere you lose confidence for
There's
that.
got to be perspective to
just
the
be
loss.
like, all right, a couple of changes, and that's sort of what he said. You know, a couple of changes. You know, and that's what I think. That's all it is. I don't think he needs to go and do anything crazy. I think what he needs to do this weekend is, as we said, don't go chasing the fight of the night bonus, which felt like you guys were trying to talk him into. But and I tried to go, no, don't worry about that. You know what I mean?
That's why you're here, for the level-headed approach,
exactly
mate.
right now, because again, like he's the type of fighter that even if he wants to fight strategy, them exchanges, he's going to go wild anyway. So it's still going to be a fun fight. Even if he goes calculated, I still think you're right where that could be still fight of the night anyway.
Yeah.
But let's just try and focus on the being calculated rather. So I like him, and he's such a good human being.
I like Sweary Arnold as well. I like it when he's in that mindset.
That's what I was like, what's going on here?
I'll be honest, when he come in and stood next to me, I've been around him all week. When he stood next to me, I went, wow, and his cheekbone nearly poked me in the eye. He looked incredibly drawn. He looks like he's had a tough morning. He's had a tough weight cut.
Well, he's a thick boy, and he's relatively big.
His
for
dad's
that.
huge. That's why
he's
his
got a
dad's
big old
absolutely
back.
massive. So he's naturally got a lot of that natural weight to lose. So, but yeah, I like Sweary Arnold. It means he's in the right mind frame, and you need to be in that mind frame to take on someone like Giga, who believes himself that he should be at the top of the division, and he's had a few setbacks himself. Both these guys come in here not just as, do I belong in the top 10? They're both coming in thinking, I need to be a title contender, and I've got to go through this guy.
I was going to say, because you did say, obviously the swearing and that fire, right? And he did mention that, you know, he thinks a Giga. Well, obviously with Calvin Cater coming forward and putting that pressure on him and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that's something that he wants to capitalise. So maybe he wants that. You know what? I'm going to be calculated, but I need to bring this to him because I know I can slow him down and I can have my way with him. So like maybe that's what he needs to go. I'm going to need a bit of that fight, a bit of this. Get in his face. Don't be too silly while we're doing it. Try and do it as calculated as possible. But bring the fight to him. Wear him down, get him flustered, try and remind, maybe I'm going to try and remind him of what happened then, get in his head that way. We'll see what Arnold turns up.
It was impressive last time out, Giga, wasn't he? Because obviously you've just mentioned the Keita fight, and he was well beaten on that night. I mean, Calvin Keita was absolutely sensational.
He was incredible.
But he did bounce back well. I mean, that could mentally scar a person, taking that type of beating against somebody, but he seemed to bounce back quite well. So he's in a rich vein of form, but it feels like this fight's kind of a fight for relevance in the top 5 of the division, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? If you lose this one, then you do seem a little bit far off that top 5.
Well, of course. Listen, it's one thing losing to Max, because Max is just below the seat. He's there, isn't he? He's right at the top. He's at the top of the division. So it's one thing losing to him. It's another thing losing to Giga, who's ranked number 9, I think. Arnold's number 6. Because you're going to swap places, basically. You lose to Giga. So... But the pressure's on Giga as well, because he doesn't want to slip outside the top 10, because these guys are so close now. You work your entire career to get ranked, and then once you get into the rankings, you suffer a defeat or two, suddenly the abyss is staring back at you again. All that work, all that energy you've put in. I think this is why I think most fans believe this is going to be fight of the night, because there's so much on the line. This has got violent chess written all over it.
Yeah. Well, that kicks off the main card, of course, on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus. The core main event is this fella, and very kindly he's given up a bit of time to come and join us. Come on in. Yeah, we're live, lad. There you go.
Sorry, gentlemen. You're telling me to take a seat. How's it going?
You good, mate?
Yeah, all good.
I like this. You've gone headphones. You've gone
full Dr. Dre. Yeah,
you've got
Dr. Dre's put a few quid in the bank. I love it.
New sponsorship deal. Is that what it is? Is that what you're looking for?
No, I just forgot to take them off, mate. To be honest,
I feel like I'm going to disappear.
Please not me. Sorry, mate. Get behind them shoulders there, mate.
What were you listening to, Tom, before you were on the scales?
I've honestly not listened to anything.
It's just the style.
I just thought it looked cool. Yeah. No, I can listen at any moment. I'm ready to listen if I need to. Yeah.
Okay.
And Mr. Bisping's not with us today, he's doing something else, but he did say that he was the person that gave you the thumbs up and the absolute okay that you could go on stage yesterday with your shades on.
No.
He was not the person that said that it was okay for you to do it
with the shades on. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Because I see like Leon and
looking cool,
Bobby Green,
yeah,
and they look
mustard,
cool.
yeah.
But then Bisping, he's not as cool as them two.
No.
And I think I'm on his level. I'm on Bisping's level, so I said, Bisping, what do you think? He said, listen, it's your moment. If you want to wear the shades, wear the shades.
I think you pulled it off, man.
Go on then, I'm going to wear
Full Tony Soprano.
I took them off when I got on.
You did, yeah.
Took them off. I took them off when I got on.
Shirt open, shades on. That's the one, Volk. Next
time
out, mate.
Yeah, well, I might need it. Like sometimes when I'm cutting my weight, I get drawn a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they do it. I choose never to do that. I don't know why, but because I can look pretty drawn. I'm not saying that's why people do it.
He's not. He's
moving everywhere. I
was about to say, well, he doesn't need to worry about that. But maybe the other guys, that's why they're doing it. Maybe I should do it. It might look cool and cover the drawn eyes. But you don't need to worry about that. I was eating dinner with him last night.
We had a massive sushi and a steak last night. It was fantastic.
So I know he's all good. I know he ain't drawn at all.
Listen, I was getting carried away on the scales, looking nice and light, 260 with a six-pack, everything else. I said to Volk, maybe he's coming a little bit lighter, so he's lighter on his feet. And is that just nonsense? Am I just getting carried away? Was the Pavlovich weight based on the fact that it was 2 weeks' notice?
Pavlovich weight was because I was fresh off a stag do.
Right.
That's why
it wasn't to be heavy sets to throw heavier shots.
No, mate, no. I, in all honesty, I was far away from fight shape when I fought Pavlovich. When I'm in fight shape like I am now, and I've got 10 weeks to prepare, I'm about 115 kilos.
Okay.
Then I was like 120, so that's why.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that education, haven't we? When you start your career, everybody kind of wings it for a period of time. Then you get the education on nutrition. Obviously, the finances come in, so you can spend money on that. You can spend money on yourself, and now it seems like physically you seem to be coming into your prime, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm like fully invested. I used to just think like, if you go to the gym, hit the sessions, you're ready to go, which you are. Like that'll take you up to a certain point. But if you want to be elite, you need to have an elite lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? You can't just train hard and that's it. Like even with staying up late and the drinking and doing all the rest of it, like that's all got to be minimal. You have to be 100% focused inside and outside the gym, and that's where I'm at.
We were, sorry, go.
No, go for it,
so
mate.
we were talking about it. We bring it up a couple of times where they feel that little bit lighter. So some people think, the heavier you are, you know, the stronger you will be and whatnot, which I've always sort of disagreed with. Like I can get heavier when I want, but I choose to try and stay a little bit lighter. I feel like I'm just as strong and I'm fast. Is that the case with you? You don't feel like me being heavier, I'm stronger. I'm at my optimal at that lighter.
Yeah, I think
weight.
this is a perfect weight for me where I am now. But you know what? With heavyweights, especially because I'm like a big guy, your weight fluctuates. Like, for example, your weight won't fluctuate anywhere near as much as mine. Like, I can go up and down 3-4 kilos easy in a day, like from sleeping to waking up. So it just depends what I've eaten and where I'm at, really. You know what I mean? I've not had a big breakfast. I woke up late. You know, I woke up at midday, so I've only had a little breakfast and a coffee. So if I ate a little bit more, I'd be a little bit heavier. It's not too different to me.
Can I just say thank you
For what for?
for putting the petrol thing to bed, mate? Right? The amount of people in this room that have been coming up to me all week going, "No, mate, I think you've got it wrong. I think he's actually doing it. You know, I think he's proper dipping his hands."
Do you know what? I really wanted to keep that going because I thought it was hilarious. Especially
It was
like
hilarious.
Me and Volk were talking about it last night. Like, the Australians get it. Obviously, the Brits get it. But the Americans, it's just like, oh my God, this guy's revolutionising the game. He's dipping his hands in petrol. But you know what? I started getting tagged a bit on Instagram, like kids dipping their hands in petrol.
Oh, man.
And I was like, we got to pull the plug on this because I don't even know, like, I'm obviously having a joke.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's safe or not. So I don't want little kids looking at me and thinking, this is what I need to do when I don't know if it's safe or not. So we pulled the plug on it. But it was fun. It was fun while it lasted.
It was. Listen, kids, there you go. Keep your hands out of the gasoline, all right?
So that's what I was going to ask you. Who were the people actually coming to? Were they Americans that were
Yes,
saying
they
it?
were.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
All the American journalists. Yeah, that's all I can say about it. Yeah, absolutely. We spoke about this in our conversation earlier on in the week about wanting this one, about kind of needing this one. Obviously, it's been perfect so far, bar this, because there's a TKO loss on there. Talk to me about the mentality of that, just wanting to chalk this one off.
Well, I'm obviously a competitive guy. I mean, you need to be. Do you know what I mean? If you're fighting the UFC, you need to be a competitive guy. And it hurts my ego. I don't like having a loss on my record, especially one that it almost hurts more than an actual loss. Do you know what I mean? Because of what happened and the way it happened and stuff. And now I just, you know, Curtis is a great guy. I've said it a million times at this point. But professionally, we have a massive problem that is now going to get settled tomorrow night. And I'm looking forward to settling the score tomorrow.
The last time you had a relationship or you really liked your opponent was Marcin Tybura. You couldn't say nice things about him, and then you smashed them to bits in a matter of a moment. I get a feeling like we're heading towards something else tomorrow night.
Oh, do you know what? It doesn't matter to me, honestly, if I don't like the person or I really like the person. It's a sport to me. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing, like, they're not my enemies, they're just my opponents. So they can be my best friends in the world or my worst enemy. Like, the person I dislike, I'm not bothered. Like, at the end of the day, they're in there trying to punch me. I'm going to try and punch them as hard as I can. I've got a job to do. Like, this is how I feed my family. This is how I get success. This is how I live my dreams, is by taking these guys out. So it can be my best friend, or I can not like the guy. It's irrelevant. When the bell goes, the cage door closes. It's me or them. Simple as that.
And yesterday, I know that you've been in when it was empty. Yesterday there was a few fans in for press conference. There'll be a few more later on for weigh-in, and then tomorrow night 20,000 fans will be just going absolutely wild, man.
It'll be insane.
What an arena and what a venue to be defending the interim title.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is the toughest bit, like this bit now, because especially at the press conference was obviously absolutely booming. Me sat there, we were talking about it last night, I couldn't hear anything that anybody was saying. I was just confused. I sat there thinking, what the hell is going on? Just screaming. Then today's going to be obviously a massive adrenaline rush, and then you've got like 30 something hours until the fight, so you really, me personally, I really have to focus on just keeping myself level. And it's not even about being calm before the storm. You have to be like calm in the storm. Do you know what I mean? You can't let your adrenaline go, because mate, you get on them scales, you got 5,000 people, especially in Manchester, which is where I'm from, screaming for me.
Berserk.
My adrenaline's going to be like that, but I've got to really try and just keep it level, enjoy myself, and just maintain that until tomorrow evening.
How hard is that?
Yeah, man, like, he's right. Like, I know a bigger part for me was always trying to stay composed, staying level, exactly what he's saying, while all that was happening. I end up, it's good to hear him talk about it, because he understands that, so he knows what he needs to do. I started getting to a point where I needed to try and use the crowds and that, because I started getting too composed like myself. So then I was like, all right, this is more the later fights. So I started being like, I'm going to use the crowd. I'm going to get myself. I think we chatted about it. And I'm going to work them up. It's going to get me fired up. Otherwise, I feel like I might be too level. So I know most of my career, I was like, I've got to keep myself level. I can't let the crowd get to me, And
you got too good at doing that.
But at least I understand that, right? And him talking about, he understands that. All right, I don't want to go too high. I'm going to keep it at a good level. Then that might slowly change later on, where it might be like, oh, you know what, I'm going to use that bit more of a buzz. But the fact that he understands it, and that's good, because that's a lot that I can see that I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if I can just add to that, please. I think that to be like a good level of a fighter, you need to obviously be able to get in there. You need to be able to obviously scrap it out in the tough moments. You need to be fit. You need to be strong. Blah blah blah. All the rest of it. But to be elite level, you need to be able to understand yourself properly as a person. Not just get in there, we'll have a bash up, see what happens. I'm tough, he's tough, let's see how it goes. You need to be able to understand yourself as a person to be elite. And in all honesty, not many people do. Like, there's a lot of really, really good fighters all around the world. There's not a lot of elite fighters, and that's the difference, is the mentality.
That's self-awareness.
Totally agree. Yeah. Totally agree.
I'll let you crack on. What's the rest of the day then? You've got 30 odd hours before we
like I said, this is the toughest part for me. I'm going to go back to the hotel now. I'm going to kill a little bit of time somehow before the weigh-ins, try and keep myself relaxed, have that whole crazy storm in a couple of hours.
You're a walker, aren't you? You like to have a little bit of a walk.
I'll have a little bit of a walk
during the day tomorrow or something like that.
I'll do all that. I'll just
get some fresh air.
Just killing time. Yeah, killing time.
You will probably try. Well, you will probably have a nap at some stage tomorrow. How can you block out what's happening and be able to have a nap mid-afternoon Saturday to prepare you for the night? Because I'm planning on having a nap, and I know already I won't be able to nap, because every fight will be running through my mind. I'll be so excited, and it ain't going to happen. So to be in your position and to be able to switch that off, to have a full relax, I'm just curious, how do you get into that mindset?
Well, mate, something you don't know about me. Talk about elite level fighters. You're looking at an elite level napper. I am top of the top, mate. Top of the food chain.
You can nap anywhere like that.
Well, it's sort of what you were just touching on, right? Like, you understand yourself. I need to keep myself at this, so I'm not going to let myself get too excited. And I feel like that's if you've got that control, or at least the more you're trying to control these emotions and whatnot, the more you do that, the better you are at everything around that as well. So that's why elite napper as well. There you go.
Love it.
Elite level napper. I don't think we get that on the show. We just given Volk a Wigan kebab. What do you think?
Well, it wasn't too bad. They put some gravy in it. I think the gravy.
Yeah, it can be
you
kind
don't
of
need
dry.
it, but that was all right.
Yeah,
that's what I was worried about. So I was like, can we chuck some sauce or gravy? They had gravy. It was all right, but I mean, I like just a pie by itself, to be honest.
Fair play.
There you go. Listen, we'll let you get on, mate.
Thank you, boys.
Enjoy the next few hours, mate. Take care, pal. There you go. Coleman event. Tom Aspinall defending the interim heavyweight title against Curtis Blaydes. He's in great form. Obviously, he spent a little bit of time with him last night. That doesn't change. He's not putting anything on for cameras or anything like that. That's just the way he is.
Mate,
he seems completely at that level.
Yeah, he is, man. He's a good dude as well, man. Like, that's one thing that always surprised me. I've met some of the nicest human beings in this sport.
Yeah,
and a lot of people just think that we're all just mongrels and we're aggressive and whatnot. Like, far from it. Like, literally 90% of the MMA athletes are some of the most chilled out, respectful people you ever meet, and he's definitely one of them. Like, I feel like we're not close, but I think we're both big fans of each other.
Yeah.
But we're both very similar in that sense. Like, but yeah, what he was touching on, well, I was talking about as well, where he was saying, "Oh, I'm going to need to keep myself composed." I did that whole way through, and then it wasn't until maybe I think I'll explain it to you on that show that we're doing. It wasn't until like the third max fight where I was just like, I felt like I was too, because the fights before I felt like I was a little bit too flat. And I'm like, I can't have that again. I'm going to use the crowd. I'm going to use the crowd booing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to use that because, like he said, you want to know what you're doing out there. You've got a job to do. You want to be calculated. And if your adrenaline rush is kicking in and you're not doing that, you can't fight your fight. So I was always so good at doing that. But then it became too much of that, where I wanted that spark. I wanted that reaction time going. I wanted that bit of fire. So I try and use that crowd. So I had a few fights where I'm like just trying to, I'm going to just try and soak up this crowd. Otherwise, I'm too chill in there.
Yeah.
So it's just funny how, even though I wasn't trying to try and correct him, I just know that I was there, and it won't be long till, again, he's still, how old is he?
32.
Yeah,
I think
like,
he's
and
just
you know what I
gone,
mean, and
still
like
doing
it just reminds me. It's like, man, he's still at that stage. He's nowhere near his prime.
Yeah.
You wait till he is in his prime. Like, he's going to be an absolute beast when he can, because he, as I said, he's can control his emotions. He's very aware, self-aware, and that goes a long way in the sport.
I remember John Jones once describing it and saying the difference between being a contender and being a champion in this sport is we all get the butterflies. The key is mastering the butterflies and make them flying in formation. And that's a similar type of mentality, controlling your emotions in the most important moments. And for Tom to be in that mindset already as a new champion is really quite remarkable, and again just makes me even more excited about where's he going to be in 3 or 4 years' time.
For those that are just tuning in, we've had all the main card come through. Everything's done and dusted. We've got a title fight in both the men and co-men. We're just waiting for Jake Hadley and Alice Ardeline to weigh in. Jake Hadley, of course, accepted this fight on very, very late notice. So we're going to give you those updates on those two fighters on our social media. So make sure you follow TNT Sports and Discovery Plus on social media. Get on that UFC account and we'll keep you up to date if there's any weight misses or whether they come in bang on. Before I let these two crack on with the rest of the day, give me fight of the night. What are you going for, mate? What
Fight
are you
of the
thinking?
night. Let's. I guess we're all agreeing on maybe the Arnold Allen.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Is it
We're not all agreeing?
No, that's
Well,
fine.
I'll jazz it up a little bit. I'm going to go with the new addition to the main card, Christian Leroy Duncan versus Gregory Rodriguez.
I stole your prediction, sorry.
I'm going to jump right in there because Volk's just stole my chips from under my nose. So, but yeah, I think those two coming into the main card, late notice call up for RoboCop, they're going to put on a show.
Performance of the night, were you looking?
Man, I think Aspinall's obviously always one that I think, and I think Leon as well. I think Leon is, man, I think he's going to be a lot more aggressive for this fight. I think he knows that he can let it go a little bit more. I think we're going to see that, especially here in Manchester, and I think he might get that TKO or KO.
Yeah, I think it's hard to, basically if you're on this card and you're not in the two title fights, you're going to have to work damn hard to get yourself a bonus because all the focus is on them. And I think right now the two Brits in those two title fights are in an incredibly strong position to do something quite special.
I'm expecting something good from Nathaniel Wood. I like his striking style, so hopefully he can come through with a fantastic performance. And you'll be able to catch all this on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus from 1 o'clock in the early hours of Sunday morning. Make sure you come and join us for that. The main card gets going from 3 with the two title fights that we're all extremely excited about. Co-main event, Tom Aspinall defending against Curtis Blaydes. And then once again, Leon Edwards in the welterweight division defending this time against Belal Muhammad. Ceremonials will be coming a little bit later on. The pomp and ceremony in front of all the fans, and then it'll be fight night. Make sure you come and join us.
There ain't no place like Manor. This city makes moments. Now it's time for my guys to take theirs. The top don's taking no prisoners, and the big man's getting bigger. Get ready for the smoke, because in this city, winners live forever. Manchester, where greatness is made.